Hi friends, welcome back to Five Oaks Farm Stitching. My name is Rachel and this is a Flosstube video added in with a finish to my 12 starts of Christmas. I haven't shared starts 9 through 12 yet. And then I'm also going to share with you guys what I have planned for 2026. I am going to jump on to WhipGo for the first time. And then I have my plans I've shared before, 26 starts in 2026. And I have all of them sitting next to me, at least for the most part. So I'm excited to share those with you today. I hope you all had an incredible Christmas season with your families. I hope it was meaningful and full of joy. We had a wonderful time. That's why my video for the last few starts didn't get out, because we have been Christmasing with our families and doing all the fun activities, and time just got away from me, and that's my top priority. So of course, a video can wait, but I definitely am excited to go over everything with you guys and connect with you today. I have a few pictures in the opening video that are from a trip to Grapevine, Texas for my daughter's birthday. We do that every year. We take the train to Grapevine and we shop and eat, and it's so fun. It is coined the Christmas capital of Texas, and it was beautiful. So those were a few of the pictures you saw at the beginning. And then I will just share a few more things throughout the video. So I am happy to be here with you guys. I hope you are all as excited about 2026 and all the possibilities that the year ahead has for us, just with our families, but also as crafters and cross stitchers. I know there's a lot of excitement as we think about all the things that we can work on in the next year. So I'm happy to share everything with you guys today. I decided not to bring any previous finishes for this video because I have so many projects to share, and it's going to be a long one, probably my longest video to date. So we're just going to jump right in with starts 9 through 12. So if you missed the first two videos, I did 12 starts of Christmas. The great thing is I realized, the 12 days of Christmas actually starts on Christmas Day. So I'm still in the timeline that I plan to be, but I shared starts 1 through 4 in the first video and then 5 through 8. And I just chose 12 new patterns for Christmas projects so that I could have a lot of things going, hopefully a lot of things finished over the next year for next Christmas to have out, because I don't have a ton of stuff to display for cross stitch during the holiday season. So I'm going to share starts 9 through 12 today. If you missed the first two videos, definitely go back and see those. I have some things I'm gifting in each video. And so if you want to jump in on that, you can go watch those and throw the keyword down in the comments. And then I'll have some new patterns today. So the first one I'm going to show you guys is Prairie Schooler Christmas Samplers. And I am doing the one in the middle. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. I love that one. I don't know if I will ever do the two on the sides, maybe one day, but right now the one in the middle is why I wanted this pattern. I love the colors. And I am doing this on a 16 count honey from BeStitchMe. And this is as far as I got with my start. The deer is so cute, and I am into that circle where Santa Claus is with his sack over his back. And actually all of these, most of these, actually these starts that I'm sharing, I did in the car or on our trip to Grapevine for my daughter's birthday. So this one was the first one I started. Worked a little bit in the car and a little bit in the hotel. I love that one. And the next one is a Teresa Kogut. My husband joked that that's the only person's patterns that I stitch. He was like, let me guess, Teresa Kogut. I was like, I do more than just Teresa Kogut, but I do love her. So this one is Snow Day at Cedar Hill. So kind of a wintry one. I feel like this one could stay out in January. And I am doing this one on an 18 count Lunar from BeStitchMe. Just a little start on the alphabet up there at the top. And it's kind of a wintry fabric too, so I think this is one I could leave out after Christmas. Tiny little letters. Most of these are the called for colors, although I am trying to pull from stash as much as possible. And like I showed you guys before, all of my fabric except for one was from my stash for these 12 starts. So I was very happy about that. Only one thing had to be purchased, and then I did have to purchase some floss. But so that one is Snow Day at Cedar Hill. That was from her Patreon. Someone did ask about her Patreon, like how soon after. This was December of 2024, it says. So I don't know how long she waits until she releases them. I noticed someone did purchase the Naughty Nice Santa, and I have that one from a Patreon from maybe 2023. So I don't know if she takes a year or 2 years before you can get them, but I'm in the tier 4 of her Patreon. So each month I get 3 patterns, and usually October's, you know, she starts doing the holiday season. So I started a lot of those this year. The next one is Happy Hand Towels for Christmas. So this was just a booklet by Leisure Arts with lots of hand towel designs, which I will be doing as ornaments, not all of them, but I chose these little stars, and I just picked floss from my stash. So it needed like a dark and a light of each color to make that gingham plaid look. And I'm doing it on 14 count fabric Flair taupe. And so that one, the stars, I haven't started. This one was my favorite. All Hearts Come Home for Christmas. I love that one. And I did start this one. And this is as far as I got. And I just love the design of this like little like gingham, and the stripes make me very much think of like shirts in the 90s. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but it looks like something my grandpa would have worn around Christmas time, those rich colors. And if you have watched my videos, you might notice that I frequently change patterns to make them seem more even. I kind of have a little bit of OCD with things being balanced out. So I am actually going to stitch this heart twice. So this one will stay the same, and then I'm going to do this one on this side. So there's 2 on the sides that are the same. And then I will probably make a couple of these for gifts because I just think the saying is so sweet. All hearts come home for Christmas. And those are also just random floss choices from my stash. So got a green and a red, a brown and a tan. Very, very pretty. I don't know how many I'll do from that booklet, but those are super fun and easy stitches. And then I have a really cool Patreon chart from Sweet Wings Studio. They put this out maybe a month ago before Christmas so that you could start stitching, but they have 26 different Advent Christmas ornaments in here. So there's 26 words just like this with the border and then a little design at the bottom. And I would love to do a bunch of these. I won't, after looking at them, I definitely won't do all of them, but there's probably 15 that I definitely want to do. And I got started on Mary. And this is on a Icelandic blue 14 count by Wichelt Imports. And it's not all the called for colors. I believe I changed the color in here. I don't know if it was because white wasn't showing up, but I actually kind of like the little creamy color in there with the red. And then I have, this is a whole, well, almost a whole, I guess I took some of it, but I've got plenty of room to make all of the ornaments that I want to make from that chart. So I just thought that was such a great such a great deal for a Patreon chart for the month. So those were my last 4 starts for my 12 starts of Christmas. I had so much fun doing that, and I had some great time. I know some of you know I did a lot of my starts on the first 4 at wrestling, and then the other 4 was just at home watching Christmas movies with my family, and then these 4, I think I'll always remember I was on my daughter's birthday trip. So those were a blast. Thank you for joining me while I stitched those, and now I have some really great Christmas projects to work on throughout 2026. I am thrilled and blown away to share this next thing with you. It is a gift that someone sent me. It is not something I made, and I just can't believe that she gave me this and also just took the time to pack it up and ship it and pay for shipping and give me such an incredible gift. So Jessica at Lumi Stitch, I watch her Flosstube. She is very talented. She is a beautiful stitcher. She reached out and asked if she could send me a Christmas ornament, and I was so excited. I could not believe that she wanted to do that for me. And so she sent me the date that it was going to come. And I was so excited yesterday. I had my husband check our P.O. box because I knew it might be there. And I just cannot believe that this is mine and that she gave this to me after all the hard work she put into it. So look at this beautiful blue coated Santa with his bag of toys, incredibly finished. And this wonderful ornament. There's her little tagline, so you guys can watch her too. I'll tag her down in the description box. I am so thrilled. Y'all know I have a few ornaments on my tree, and I want to have a full cross-stitch tree one day. So this is gonna go on there. I'm so excited about that. But she didn't just send me this incredible ornament. She also sent me this sweet design that I am absolutely going to stitch. It says, "Through the storm, you do not walk alone." And that is just beautiful. I would love to have this hanging in my house. And then she sent me some cute little buttons and hair ties. Oh, and I will share this. So there's her Flosstube. And then on the back, I'll have to ask her. There is like a free chart. I'll ask her if I can share that too, because I don't know if she has that for everybody, but that's pretty cool that she has a free chart on the back that I can look up. So very, very sweet, very, very sweet happy mail that I was given. Thank you, Jessica. I love it so much. I do have a bonus project that I just had to start because I saw a deal on Etsy and I've wanted this chart forever, and I had to get it and purchase it because I'd had my eyes on it for a really long time. And so one of my favorite Christmas movies from when I was a little girl was Rankin and Bass' "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." It's the one people refer to as The Mouse and the Clock. And it's a quirky little cartoon movie about a mouse and a man and a clock that's not working. It's probably one that most people won't remember, but I loved it as a kid. We watch it as a family every year. And when I saw this pattern, it reminded me of that movie. And I was like, I have to stitch that one day. I think Maggie from Homemade on the Ridge has stitched this and has a cool finish for it. And I just love it. And I'm not sure how I will finish it. It's gonna be bigger than I thought it was. I don't know why I pictured it small. And of course I'm doing it on 14 count Aida. So I did get this fabric for Christmas. So this is a big piece of historic beige fabric Flair. And I still need to cut it. So here we are unfolding a million layers so that I can show you where I started. But it is looking great on this fabric. I did change a few of the colors. So I used mostly colors actually from my stash. I said changed a few. I don't know that any of these are actually the called for colors. So I just chose similar colors that I already had. I am loving this green and this red together. And then I changed the color of the mouse because I knew on white or with the white floss, it was not going to show up. And so I changed her stockings that were supposed to be white and then used that same color for the mouse. And so I just started on the bottom of that clock. And then this is the width of the project. So Mr. Mouse will go here. And I love it. It's one I picked up one day and really just stitched for hours on and couldn't put it down. So I'm having a blast. Love, love, love this pattern. And that was kind of my bonus project for my 12 starts of Christmas. It really became 13, but I'm excited. I love it. And then I didn't just work on those. I do have some progress on a couple of my previous starts and other Christmas starts. So I just kind of worked on what I felt like working on. And I did get some progress on Herald the Holidays. So let me show you. This is the one that I started in my first 4 starts. And I love all these little guys. This is the one I'm doing. Little trumpet blowers. And I am doing this on a scrap piece of fabric. I showed you guys last time. I bought like the last little piece at the needle shop. And so it says 14 count antique mark. I think that's a K, but I don't know what it is. I wish I did. It feels like a BeStitchMe or a fiber on the whim. It's very, a fiber on a whim. It's very soft. And I love it. I love it for this. So when I showed last time, I just had the horn and I worked on Mr. Bear there at the end with his cute little scarf. And there's a lot of back stitch on the animals, so he'll look different, obviously, in the end. And I talked about how I wanted to put beads. There's like some French knots for berries, but I would like to add some beads to this. I think that would be really cool. I've never had beads on a project. And then that little scarf that goes around him drapes around all the animals, ties them together. They each have their own little horn. And so I love that. And I went to Michael's after Christmas and they had this frame on sale, like 60% off. And I just thought it has no glass, but the back comes off. And I don't even know for sure. I haven't even tried it to see if this would fit in there, but I just thought this would be the cutest frame for this Herald the Holidays piece with the no glass. I could do the beads and it could, you know, stick out and it wouldn't matter. And maybe you can frame beads under glass and that also doesn't matter. But for me to frame it myself, I thought this would be pretty easy because you just take the back off and then that could go in there and it has the shiny red. So then the beads would pop with the red. That was my thought. We'll see. It may not work perfectly in there and I'll find a different project for that. But this one is a lot of fun. I'm loving working on that. Spent a lot of time on that last night. And then my advent calendar project, Durene Jones. I know a few people are working on this. My sweet friend on Instagram, Jen's Threaded Tales, she's working on this. She's ahead of me. Hers are looking amazing. And so I will just go through. I do have a little mishap on here and I'm not sure what happened, but we have Mr. Reindeer, day 1. Mittens. Here's my mishap one. Some of my back stitch popped out. So I need to fix that. Not really sure what I did there. Ornaments. Angel, I finished her this week. That was a ton of back stitch and I cannot believe how cute it was watching the little blob of color come to life. That's what I was talking about with someone this week. I was like, they're just these little blobs of color that kind of look like something, but if you didn't know what it was, you might not even realize what you're looking at. And then that back stitching just brings her to life and her eyes aren't very even. So she kind of looks like she's winking, but finished her and then started on 5, excuse the threads hanging everywhere. Put this behind this. So got this cute little border. As I've said before, the borders are so fun. I love seeing which, you know, design it's gonna be. And then this is some holly, and there will be a stocking for day 5. So this is definitely top priority for me for 2026 because I want to have this fully finished for Christmas next year. On the wall as an advent calendar is a little countdown for my family. So I will be working on this a lot throughout the year. And then my last project that I have been spending a lot of time on, I shared with you, this is one of my favorites this year. Hello Cardinal, the one I could not put down and I still want to pick up every day. Took a little bit of a break from it while I was doing my starts for Christmas, but got back onto it the other night and got a lot done. So I think the last time I shared it, I just had like this strip done here, and maybe I had the beginning of his boot, but I worked down into his pocket, and this is the start of that adorable little snowman in his pocket, and then his other pant leg, boot, and the start of those words, Noel. I just think it's so cute. I love the colors on this fabric. I've said that a million times. This is 14 count taupe by Fabric Flair, and I can't wait to get to that little guy. He's so sweet. I think this one will be probably one of my first finishes in 2026 because I'm still gonna work on it. You'll see my plans later, but I have a lot of plans to work on Christmas stuff. I won't just stitch in season. I do wanna finish the whips that I've had for a year or two, and I wanna focus on getting some of these Christmas things accomplished for 2026 because I think that'll be such a treat to have them for the next holiday season. Okay, before I get into my WhipGo plans, I will share a few things I got for Christmas. You did see the fabric that I had, Not Even a Mouse, stitched on, and that was one of the fabrics that I got for Christmas. This is another one, Vintage Country Mocha. I think it's a Zweigert. Yeah. So I got that. I got a few patterns. Sorry, they're in the plastic. Monthly weigh-in January. And then this one I'm definitely going to stitch. I know, with the 8 million things you've seen and the WhipGo and then the 26 starts, and this is not included. I definitely want to stitch this. I don't have any Easter cross stitch to put up, and I love this one. Cottontail cross stitch. And then this one I got because I thought my daughter might want to stitch this. She is a beach girl. She would live at the beach, absolutely, all the time. She's already excited about summer. And so I thought she might want to stitch some of these. So this is the Salty Mermaid, Erica Michaels. And just a quick update on her. I know I never gave an update on her cross stitch journey. I taught her how to cross stitch. I kind of do the harder stuff. Like, I didn't want her to get frustrated with like threading her needle, or if she gets stuck somewhere. Like, I have been helping her do those things because eventually, if she absolutely loves cross stitch, those things are not hard and they're not work. They're just part of it and you don't mind. But in the beginning, learning something new, there's so many times you can get frustrated that I just kind of wanted to take a little bit of the stress off, I guess, if you will. And she did start her project. She has worked on it many nights. She's about this far down. And so eventually I will show it to you guys. I thought she might want to, but she doesn't like being in any kind of spotlight whatsoever. And so I will share that with you guys, but I would say she enjoys it, but she is definitely not obsessed with it. But I love that she has experienced it, and you know, as she gets older, she might want to do that too. She does a lot of crafty things. She is in her Bible and Bible journaling every day for hours, and she loves to plan like her mom. She's got her planner written with a million things in it already for 2026. So who knows what she'll do with cross stitch, but at least now she knows, and some nights she pulls it out and sits by me. So that's been great. So we are going to move on to WhipGo. I don't even fully know if I understand everything about WhipGo, but I filled out my little chart and I have all my projects on there. I know you can do a free space. I did not do a free space. I just was like, let's get everything on here that I want to have time to work on. And so I am going to show you every project that I have on my WhipGo, just really quick, just so you can see it. And some of it you've seen before. It might have been a while, but I'm just gonna go through this giant stack of WhipGo projects. The first one is just this little ornament that I got, sorry, it's all encased, that I got from Hobby Lobby. And actually it was my husband who picked this out from Hobby Lobby while we were there one day and said, you should stitch this so we can put it on the tree. And I want to do that for him because I have had it now in my stash for a while and I haven't started it. And so this will be something I stitch for him for Christmas next year. So that is on the WhipGo board, as I think I just put Christmas truck. But a funny thing from the last video, I shared Christmas alphabet that I stitched and finished, and it hangs on our Christmas tree. And I was pointing out on this little part of the pattern, this is my favorite because this little tree with the snow. And my husband was at the fire station watching the video, and he came home and said, you and I are so much alike, it's scary. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, when you showed that chart in your video with the alphabet, he goes, I literally was thinking to myself, gosh, I love that little snowy tree. And then I said, this is my favorite, the snowy tree. So hopefully he'll like this Christmas truck. Another project on WhipGo I have is Peace on Earth. I started this one around the time I started cross stitching. And it's on an oatmeal Aida that I just got from Amazon, I believe. And honestly, I didn't love stitching on this in the beginning. Now that I have stitched for a while, this chart would be so much easier than it was 2 years ago, because you just get better at reading charts and understanding what to do and just working through stitches. I mean, it all becomes just easier for you. So I am super excited to work on this. I want to have this up in my house. I love the look of this now more than I did even when I got it and started it. So this will be one I work on this year, whenever it gets called or whenever I feel like working on it. So the next one I put on my board, Spooky Cute Ornaments. I am doing a handful of these on this, let's see, 16 count cold foam. I still only have these little guys. I showed this last time and asked about my background because this little tan floss just covers up. I love that somebody said this. Well, the little tan floss is almost the same color and it covers up that beautiful fabric. So I'm going to be doing my ornaments without the fill-in of the back circle. And these will go on my little tree for Halloween next year. They're very tiny. They're like 28 by 28. Another one that I cannot believe I haven't finished is Winter Sampler. This sweet little chart is pretty close to being done. I can't imagine that I do not finish this year. This is where I am. So I just need to finish up Mr. Snowman and get the Christmas tree in. So that might be when it gets called, it gets finished. I added Trick or Treat by Twin Peak Primitives. And this is on an 18 count Boneyard by BeStitchMe. This is what I did Midnight Watch on. So I've got a lot of Christmas, a handful of fall, and a couple spring / non-seasonal projects on here. Flip It October Stamp by Lizzie Kate. Another one that I could literally finish in one night if I just pulled it out. That one is really cute. That's the only stamp I have. I don't have like a collection of those. And then I added my Faith Fall at Pansy Patch Manor. I do feel very motivated to work on this because as I was getting that like new year ready to go, get organized, of course I started in my craft room because that makes perfect sense. Your whole house needs to be organized and you start in the sewing room. So my sewing room is spotless and I went through all my patterns because I wanted to just make sure I had a new notebook that was small. So I put like my smaller patterns in there and I was going through everything that I had. And I have a lot of Plum Street and a few more, I think, of Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery that are beautiful fall patterns similar to this. I bought them all at the same time. And so I told myself, you need to finish this one and then you can maybe start one of those. Like I do have Gather In and I have Cinnamon Stars. So I have a bunch that would look really great with this one. So that one still sort of has a ways to go. And then the one that I'm stitching that you guys have seen, I want to stitch this because my grandmother stitched all these Ellen Stofers. I've shared the big piece that hung in my house growing up. She gave one to each of her children, and I just have this small start of the border. And then Magic of Christmas. I shared this one recently. I haven't put any work on it since the last time. And then my Christmas Gentleman. And I love the idea someone shared after I'm doing this big piece in the center. I'm not separating the Santas, maybe one day, or maybe as an ornaments. But I am doing one big piece and I got real close to the edge over here. Mistake made. And someone suggested that I do it as a wall hanging and sew fabric around, and I do quilt. So that is definitely something I could do. And I do love that idea. So that might be what happens with Christmas Gentleman. And then we have Delivering Christmas. Hello from Liz Matthews. Santa in this awesome tree. Again, I worked on this in the beginning of December. Haven't added anything new. A giant tree to work on. My first Judith Kirby, Victorian House number 8, is on the WhipGo list. Got this little start in the corner here. And then I have these both on one box for WhipGo because they're both small. I have them in the same bag. I'm using the same threads. So we just are keeping those together. I have not started the Hello Autumn, but this is Welcome Autumn. And then Blooming Quakers is on the list. Sorry for my mess down here at the bottom. And then I have the ones that I started at the beginning of my 12 starts for Christmas. I added all of the 12 starts of Christmas to the WhipGo board. And so you've seen these recently, but we have By Angels Bright, Sweet Wing Studio, tiny start up at the top. This is that 18 count Lunar. And then this one will probably get worked on no matter what. I love it. Button Up, Prairie Schooler. I got that first box done. Those little boxes are satisfying to complete. I love the little stitched border. And then I am doing this Oh Holy Night. I don't know if I'll do it as an ornament or a stand-up. This is the 2025 issue, so this year. And I'm doing it on a navy blue Aida. Only have a little bit of the border done. And another Teresa Kogut, Christmas stitching. Got a little start on this one too. On my 14 count taupe, fabric flare. I love this one. Merry Christmas, Durene Jones. I told y'all Leslie at A Nurse and Her Needle has this done, and it's so cute. I started over here. I got a long way to go before I get to be at that reindeer, but here's my little start. This is a 16 count Frappuccino. And then Waxing Moons, free pattern, Patreon, but a free pattern to anyone that's subscribed to their newsletter, I think. And this is Snowman's Christmas Eve. And Deborah was asking me what this yellow is. Now, Deborah, if I got that wrong and it's not this star, let me know. But this yellow, if this is the one you were asking about, is a 3820, I think. I wrote it down. I will put it, I'll send you a message. But sweet, sweet little snowman there. And the last one, Peace on Earth. Love the motifs, love the little houses. Started with that cardinal and a little deer. So those are my WhipGo projects for 2026. I have my pile of 26 starts for 2026. I'm gonna go through each one with you. You may have seen some of them before, but some would have been like first Flosstube ever, kitted in a bag and didn't start. So some of these I had kitted and some are new. Some are patterns that were already in my stash. I don't think any of them are recently purchased for this. They are things I already had. And so I'm just gonna go through each one. I do not have a hard and fast plan for, I'm gonna start all of these in January because I won't be able to start all these in January, but I just plan to start all of these in 2026. I don't plan to add a ton of other things in. I know I will. We all find things we can't live without. And so I'm sure there'll be new projects started next year, but I want to focus on what I have going. And then these are my 26 that I already had kitted up. Most of the stuff I already had in my stash. So that's good. I didn't purchase a ton of things for these. So these are what I will eventually start. I hopefully will get a lot of them in January, get them going, but we'll just have to see. So the first one you did see in my very first video because I had it kitted up, but I had not started it. And that is, I am gonna say this. I hear people say her name different ways, so I'm not gonna try to say it. But Spring Quaker. I love the colors. I so badly want to do the is it Winter Quaker, but the one that says Peace on Earth and has the little village in here. I want to do that one so bad. It was so hard for me not to purchase it and start it, but I was brave and had willpower and did not buy it after Christmas because I have so many Christmas things. So eventually I will do the other one, but this is a 18 count sugar cream pie. Ready to go. Got the full thing here. I love this color. This is so pretty. I think it'll be so sweet with all these spring colors. Oh, and I did change one thing, and we'll see how it looks on the fabric. I don't 100% for sure know that I'm going to stick with it, but I do have all the called for colors. Well, I have DMC, so I'm not sure if that's what this actually called for, but I have DMC thread. And I just thought, I mean, I do love all this brown and I think it will look very pretty, but I picked a really rich purple, not a bright purple, just a kind of muted, rich purple to try alternating these little Quaker motifs with the brown and the purple. I don't know if it'll look good, but I'm gonna give it a try. We will see if that adds a little something to it. And then I have a pamphlet called Remember When. This says by Joan Green and Karen Nordhausen. And I am doing this little guy down here that says Monday Wash Day. I think I've shared this before. So we've got our clothes on the line in here. We've got some quilts hanging out to dry. And I just have a little piece of Aida from Hobby Lobby that I'll be doing that on. I'm sure I will do more of these too because there's a lot of little quilt blocks and things. So I'm sure I'll do another pattern or two from this booklet. And then we have Stitches Through the Years, Pumpkins for Sale. I've had this one kitted up for a while, never started it this fall. I don't really know why. I wish I could tell you what this fabric is, but I think I took a piece of it off. Yep, I did. There's the little missing piece. But it will go on here. I think that'll be really pretty. I didn't want to do the blue background, but I did get all the, at least the DMC conversion for that. The next one is Betsy's Horse. So a patriotic chart to the mix. And I have this piece of honey from BeStitchMe, 16 count, pulled for that. And then I've had this one kitted up for a long time too. This is called Row of Jacks. Sweet little snowmen holding hands. And then I have 18 count Lunar for that one. Another Teresa Kogut. I shared this one recently. This is the one my sweet daddy wanted me to make for him. Goosetober. When I asked him recently what he wanted for Christmas, he said, I just want that cross stitch project. And I said, okay, well, that's not done. So we'll be working on that. We'll see how long it takes me. And I just have a 14 count toast for that one. That one looks like one is going to need some brain power. And then, of course, for my starts, this is 2 starts, even though I am stitching them together. So we've got house number 9, house number 15. I am doing them on the same piece of fabric next to each other. This is a 16 count Martini from BeStitchMe. Maggie is doing this one too. She has house number 9 done, and she plans to work on house number 15. She just had a video yesterday. So if you haven't watched Homemade on the Ridge, she has a really good video with updates and then what she plans to do in 2026. I love watching her. She is so sweet. And then you guys know my giant tiny town plans. I'm gonna stitch 12 tiny towns down this piece of fabric, all in a row. And I only had this one, so I ordered Frosty Tiny Town and Big Heart, Tiny Heart, the hearts, the Valentine one, so that I can start with Frosty and then go to Valentine, and that'll be 12 of my 26 starts. So this is a big chunk of the 26 because I am going to count each pattern as one for that. You've seen this one before too, and I never started it. You Are My Sunshine. I'm going to stitch this for my beach loving daughter. I have the fabric from Fat Quarter Shop that they had when this came out. That will be fun. I don't have a lot of summer stitches. And then this was just this, I think just December's Patreon chart from Sweet Wing Studio. And I just thought that was so sweet. I used to write this verse in all the, not Christmas cards, birthday cards I send in children's ministry. And so I want to start this one. I do not have fabric or floss for that one yet. And then in one of my bags, I didn't share this one. This is, I will show this because this is one on my WhipGo, This Happy Morning. I need to get back to this. This is a Christmas chart I love that I did not put a single stitch in this Christmas season. But here's where I am. Let's see. I think it goes that way. Beautiful little flowers. So my goal was to get the border done. before I moved on to anything else. But in that same bag is one of my 26 starts. I have them both in there. And that is this Joyous Season. And I want to hang these side by side on the wall. And then recently I just saw there was one called Comfort and Joy, and it would look really nice with these two. So there's another one that I would love to have. So that is a Christmas duo there. And then this one I'm super excited about because I love the fabric. I love the floss that I picked. My daughter helped me, and it's gonna duo as one of my 26 and 26, but it also is going to be my New Year's Eve stitching pattern. Maggie is going to do her own version of a 12 by 12. She's not gonna start 12 patterns. She's gonna do one pattern over the 12 hours from noon till midnight. And I will have my kids and we're gonna play games and cook and do all kinds of things. And so when I get stitching time over that 12 hours, I picked a project. So this is one of my starts for 2026, but it's also gonna be my New Year's Eve. And so that is My Big Toe, All Things Work Together. And I knew as soon as I bought this that I wanted to do my own color conversion. And my daughter helped me at Michael's the other day. And we picked spring colors. And so I'm going to do the words in the blue, and the green will be the stems and the leaves, and then 2 colors for the flowers. So I think that will look very pretty in my home year round. And one of my Christmas gifts I hadn't shown was this Fiber on a Whim 14 count cream and sugar. I love it. This will be my first Fiber on a Whim fabric I've ever had. So I can't wait to do that tomorrow. It's the time of year we don't know what day it is. I don't know what day it is. I would love to live in this little space where my children are home and no one has to go to school or work, and we just have leftovers, and it's so great. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, the last 2 that I have, one is from a Cross Stitch Christmas from Better Homes and Gardens. Yes, another Christmas pattern. Christmas is my favorite. I know it's a lot of people's favorite, but it is truly, like, people in my family would joke it's part of my personality. So I found this as I was going through everything, a sweet little shepherds in the field looking up at the star over Bethlehem, and I definitely want to do this. I just found this the other day and added it to the pile, so I don't have fabric or floss, but I think that would be a super sweet chart for Christmas. And then the very last one of my 26 is this beekeeping sampler from Twin Peak Primitives. I've had this for a while, but just this year we actually got bees. We have 10 hives here on our farm. And back in November, beginning of November, we got our first harvest of honey. And so we have 3 gallons of delicious honey from our bees here on our farm, which is really exciting. And so I think this would be a fun sampler to have in our house now that we have bees. I don't have fabric or floss for that one either. But that is it. That's my 26 for 26 that I will eventually start throughout the year. And I'm excited. I only added, let's see, 12 at Christmas. I don't know. I don't have, other than what is on this table that you have seen today, there really isn't much left. There's not much you didn't see. So this is basically kind of a whip parade because most of my charts are on the table and I've shared them. But I'm super excited. I love this part of the year where you get to look forward to all the things and just the possibilities of a new year. And I'm excited to share that with you guys. I'm excited that I started Flosstube this year. It's been a blast. I've loved getting to know everybody and be a part of this community. And so thank you for that. And thank you for being a part of the reason that I'm excited about 2026. Okay, I want to go back over a few of the things that I wanted to give you guys. Remember in video 1, I did 2 charts that I wanted to share, and then same thing for video 2. I actually have 3 today. My mistake of double purchasing is y'all's hopefully a gift for one of you. So the first video, I believe, if I'm even saying this right, and you can go back and watch and see what the word was and comment, but the 2 charts that I wanted to share with someone is Heart of Christmas and Mini Motif. Lots of little ornament options there. That's so sweet. Then in video 2, it was Teddy's Christmas Closet and Snow Angel. And then today, the 2 that I picked, and these are sealed, so I'm sorry for the plastic, but these have never even been opened. So this is a Astor Place Green Tapestry Angel. I thought these were so pretty. And there's actually 2 of them. So this one is Red Tapestry Angel. And if you are interested, you can leave me a comment and say green if you want green, red if you want red, and we'll draw a name beginning of January. Then I asked for this for Christmas and I didn't realize that I had one. So a bonus chart we're gonna send out is this April Cottage of the Month. Those are so sweet. I guess I liked it enough that I bought it and then I forgot I had it and I bought it again. So if you are interested in that one, you can do April. And then I saw something, I can't remember who said they were gonna do it, but someone said they were gonna do kind of when they do their first video in January, they were gonna do a Q&A. And so they said, if you have any questions about things I'm working on or the way I do things or my family, just anything that you want to know or that we could talk about, you can leave it in the comments today. So if you have any questions or you want me to answer anything, I'm not a wealth of knowledge for cross stitch, but I'd be happy to share fun stuff with you, or if you just wanted to know about our farm or anything like that. So if you have a question that you would like to be included on the Q&A for January, you can leave that below. I will put all of these patterns into the description box and I will tag anyone that I talked about, and of course I'll do a list of the floss tubes that I've been watching, and I will definitely get back to making bags in the new year. I do have some goals for that, just to keep things in my Etsy shop. I do want to say thank you to everyone who has purchased. Some of you purchased multiple times when I would stock bags, and I really do appreciate that. I love making them. I put a lot of hard work into them, and I really hope that you are enjoying them, and it means a lot that you would support my shop like that. So thank you for everything. Thank you for being here with me today. I know this was a long one, but it was so fun to share all of the projects and the fun things that are gonna happen in 2026. So I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's Eve, a wonderful start to 2026. You are in my thoughts and in my prayers, and I am so thankful for you joining me on this journey. Happy stitching. Bye.